It's a mess. I know. Projects going everywhere. Nice thing about Zero Turn is that you can put it anywhere and not worry about whether you'll be able to get out. Gotten kind of used to it. It's going to be hard to record this because it's so bright out. Cut it like this, but for recording purposes. Okay, so what you're going to see today is kind of a combination of things. So I'm actually wearing a microphone on my sweatshirt here, and then now I'm doing this voiceover over the recording. But I wanted to wear that microphone on the tractor so that you all could see what it sounds like sitting on it. It's not this loud when you're seeing this tractor from a distance, or even 5 or 10 feet away. It's extremely quiet. There's zero noise. It sounds like a remote controlled car when you are on it without the motors going or the blades going. But yeah, I just wanted you all to kind of have this experience of what it sounds like sitting on the tractor from a noise standpoint. Okay, so while we're here, I finally got my wife on the video. She avoids these things at all costs. And yes, that is my handprint on her pants. No comment. But yeah, I wanted to do a video so that you all could see the actual use of the mower and not just kind of a review. But I wanted to cut the grass and allow you all to see me cutting the grass. I will say that obviously this is not me cutting all of the grass, but it is enough for you all to kind of see what it looks like. I cut the grass twice, so I go over it in kind of like the pattern of the yard, and then after that I do another once over just to give it the pattern that I want from the wheels and the blades, if you will. So I'm going to spare you guys all of that, and I'm also going to spare you kind of some of the edges by the road all the way down past the trees on this particular side, as well as the other direction as well, where it's kind of mundane, if you will. It's kind of repetitive. So for now, I'm just wanting you all to kind of experience or see the mower in use, and not just like cut scenes of 3 or 4 seconds of cutting, etc. We're currently keeping the grass pretty low. Stay tuned to the end of the video for when we keep it a little bit longer midsummer. But as it started to get cold, we're kind of bringing it down and getting it ready to start treating and different things like that I'm learning about. I'm not the best, so don't expect me to be like an expert on the grass, if you will, but I am starting to learn about what to do at what time and different things like that. So stay tuned. If you want to see videos about that, let me know in the comments, and I'll show my journey, not necessarily from a teacher standpoint, because I'm not a teacher. I'm still a pupil and definitely a student. So stay tuned for those type of videos, and let me know in the comments if that's something that you want to see. Alright, so one of the straightforward stuff is self-explanatory, but what makes it good is how well it can or cannot handle hills. And what I will say is that it's extremely light, but at the same time it's extremely powerful, so you have to be careful going up hills because of the power to the back wheels and how strong they are. But it says 15-degree grade side to side, but you kind of get used to your yard after a while of how deep of a grade it can go in your specific yard. Go over that part again because actually I want it to be lower. As I said, kind of pay attention to the front wheels. You'll start to see them kind of spin and different things like that when they're actually not on the ground. But this space is very hilly. I don't know if that's the proper term. But I live in Georgia where the ground is not even in most places unless you have it kind of excavated or whatever the proper terms is for that, are for that. But this is a very, sharp areas, speed picks up. This is me not speeding up. That's the mower going down the hill on its own. But pay attention to the way it kind of handles in these places. Once you get used to it, it works really, really well. There is a few weird caveats that if you hit the brake too hard where you come to a complete stop, you have to reset your bars. And that can be kind of weird depending on when you use the brake. But once you get used to that, there's no weirdness or anything like that, but they are very, very powerful back wheels. And if you hit them too hard going forward up a steep hill, you have to be careful that the front does not lift up. guess one of the biggest parts is that once you get used to your yard, the elevations, then you understand how fast and how slow you should be moving with your tractor. Because I had never driven a zero turn prior to buying this. So that's why I wanted to wait a little bit until I made the video, so that I was used to the tractor before I did a video. But I think the most important thing is that the mower makes short work of any yard. And I think the biggest thing, or that I was worried about leading up to purchasing this, was whether or not it was strong as a gas mower, and worried if it would cut as well. And it does. See how quiet it is? Bad for electric. Bad at all for electric. just like that. Excuse me.
Touch line.
As I said, pretty much drive it anywhere as long as you have space. So, until I finish my household projects, this is where it's going to sit. And so that you're not worried, I just cut. Well, I guess my property is 1.4 acres, but the actual cutting space, I'm not sure. I have to walk it, but I want you guys to see the battery power left after cutting the grass. So 70% after about an hour and a half of cutting. Not bad, right? And at the end of every cut, you plug it back in. It stays plugged in the whole time. So while you're not using it, it's plugged in. So, not too bad. Okay, so I will use this section to basically give my final thoughts, and I'm extremely impressed with the mower. I have thoroughly enjoyed using it. As I said in the prior video, as well as this one early on, this was the first time that I actually used a zero-turn mower. I've used the regular, riding mowers in the past. So this was my first time, and it took me a while to learn how to use it. And as you can see in this clip, which is kind of early on when I first got it, like I would move slow until I got used to like kind of how it handled. But I also wanted to show this clip because this is when the grass was a little bit longer, and it's when we were keeping it longer, but also it shows more of how I would cut normally, where I kind of do the outline of the yard, and then I kind of set the pattern that I want in it from there, and I go back over it again and just make sure that it's all nice and neat. The mower has a slow mode where you slow down basically how fast it can go. You can slow down that. You can also slow down the blades if you want to do an extremely detailed cut. I don't do that very often, but it has that capability if you would like to do so. But it's really a really great mower, and I've thoroughly enjoyed using it. The only weird thing that I've seen so far, like I said a little bit earlier, is that if you're on an extremely steep decline and you have to hit the brakes, you have to reset the arms before you can control it again. So it kind of becomes a cat and mouse game of when you let off the brake and reset the bars back to the neutral mode, etc. But yeah, final thoughts are, I love this mower. In this video you saw it at 70% at the end, and that is literally because I stopped started with the camera, setting the camera up and different things like that. Usually when I finish it, it's about 80%, and that's completely like doing the outline of the yard, and then also doing the second cut to kind of make it nice and even and pretty. Here's some bonus footage of me using my battery powered edger as well. It's a edger slash trimmer, and it works pretty well. It leaves a really sharp line. I've used it a couple of times. My yard is kind of big for this, so I typically will go back to my gas powered Ryobi trimmer to do my edging, but this gives an extremely sharp and just gorgeous line. And this was the first time after moving into the house that I set the line, and so I wanted to have it extremely sharp for that first time, and this delivered an amazing line. So yeah, that's my final thoughts. Again, I have the largest variant of the mower from the battery standpoint that cuts above 2 acres and more. And I mean, like I said, usually 80% when I finish mowing. Again, the reason it was at 70 is because I stopped, started, ran around resetting the camera and all that different stuff. So all the high shots and different things like that, my wife helped me with a couple, but for the most part throughout the yard I was resetting all of those. So please, if you have any questions around this mower, please ask them in the comment section below. Again, I wanted to do a real video of me using the mower, of you all seeing the mower in action, of you all hearing kind of what the mower sounds like. But yeah, this thing is gorgeous. It works magic. It leaves even beautiful grass. I've had zero problems with it, and I think the most underrated thing about it is that literally I can unplug and go. No gas, no checking the oil, none of that stuff. Unplug and go, and I'm ready to cut the grass. Literally unplug and go. Hit the button to start the blades, pull it back up to stop it, or pull it up to start it, push it down to stop it, just like that. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. This has been Cozy Christopher. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And stay cozy in that crazy world. And I'll see you all again in the next video. Stay safe. Peace.